Hello and welcome to Byron Bar, where every game is worth playing, and... Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I really thought I had a sketch planned for this. I was gonna go into this, be all big and bashful about, nostalgia exploitation, especially in the wake of stuff like Ghost in the Shell, but... I gotta admit, having spent some time with it, this game's a lot of fun. That being said, there are some things that I'm not a total fan of. So with that, let's review Yooka-Laylee. So, to get this out of the way, just right at the top, it's Banjo-Kazooie. It's made essentially by Rareware, by no other name than Rareware. You play as a small aerial person on top of a larger land-based creature. It's Banjo and Kazooie. You couldn't have made it any more Banjo and Kazooie if you called it Kanjo and Bazooie or Bajuji. I don't even know. That's how far away I am right now. And let's go ahead and get the bad out of the way first, because I got a lot of good stuff to say about this. But the only real bad thing I have to say is the controls. While they're not awful, they're not smooth either, and they remind me of... Roll up the freaking thing! They remind me of times long gone when I thought we were past a certain point. So... they're manageable, but... and far away from the worst controls I've ever seen. But as far as a platformer goes... what am I supposed to do? I can't hit him. Do I roll into him? No. I tried licking him, I don't know. But, yeah. I mean, just right here. I'm twisting the camera around as far as I can, but for whatever reason, the environment affects the free-moving camera. And it's not just walls, it's this tree. I can't swing past it. This bush... can't... oh, I can swing past the bush? Thanks for proving me wrong, game. But it's really weird how it gets hung up on certain things and not others, so... again, not a great big gripe, but it does bring to light some of the things that weren't so great about this type of game in this type of age. So, just a minor thing. Outside of that, let's get to the good here, because there's a lot to like about this. And I guess let's start out with the story. That's a skeleton. I seem to have got myself in a pot of bother. No need for name calling. So, the story is the capital B has stolen a lot of books in an attempt to get the big book. And with it, there are certain pages that give him ultimate power and the ability to rewrite the universe, presumably to make him the ultimate be-all, end-all for everything. And that's where you come in. The eponymous Yooka-Laylee. I forget which one's which, like it really matters. I believe Yuka is the chameleon and Laylee is the bat. I could be wrong, but either way, you have volunteered to help find all the pages, spelled P-A-I-G-E, because everything is a person in this game. Like, for instance, we have a talking pot and a skeleman in a safari hat. And it's up to you to try and rescue all the pages so that Capital B doesn't try and destroy the world or rewrite history or whatever he's gonna do. Who knows? Uh-oh. So, What is wrong with his eyes? Yeah, that's about it. And I'm really glad it's just that simple. It harkens back to an older game time when stuff like that you could do. And it proves you can still do stuff like that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun just going around doing this. You got your basic attack, you got a ranged attack. I don't have that yet, but I know you get it. I mean, come on. Kazooie shot eggs out of her mouth and her backside, I guess. But that's about all you got. So let's go, and there you go. Instead of the jiggies, you get the pages. And I just realized that the collectibles from Banjo-Kazooie almost borders on sounding like a racial slur. But either way, instead of notes, you collect quills, and butterflies replenish your health and stamina. I'm assuming I'll be able to fly off there at some point. And this game is just fun. Part of me is really glad this exists, while another part of me, probably the part that's tired of being jerked around by a bunch of people who want to try and shove my nostalgia and, oh, remember this from your childhood, down your throat. Part of me really wants this to not be here. But then part of me really likes it being here. But enough about that. I guess let's go back to the controls, because combat and everything, aside from the camera, works really well. You stick out your tongue to collect things, you press your interact button when you get close to it, which is also your jump button, but so far I haven't had an issue with that. Really? No issue with a lizard, huh? How about I stand on your head? Racist-ass pot plant there. But outside of the camera, the controls work just fine. Combat is simple. You can get more moves to upgrade yourself and be better. And it reminds me of a simpler time when games didn't... I don't want to say didn't have to be these elaborate, super big things, and they could just be quiet and low-key like this. And this is nice. This is quiet and low-key. Uh-oh. A page piece. And do I really need to say anything about the graphics? I mean, these are wonderful graphics. It's bright, it's colorful, it's bouncy, it's everything this game should be. I have absolutely no problem with the way this game looks. It's shaded well, it looks good, everything's illuminated properly. The pages, the little quills don't cast a shadow. I don't have a problem seeing things where they're supposed to be lurking. And when you have to have a character who's in a shadow, a nice little spotlight will shine down on them. You just gonna keep taking a bite out of that candy cane there? Sir Scoffsalot of Hamelot. So, yeah. That being said, let's talk a little bit about this game's development, which, there's a reason I say it's Banjo-Kazooie. It's made by Rare. They're not called Rareware anymore, but it's Rare. It's the writers, it's the creators, it's everything about this game. It just breathes that Banjo-Kazooie, that Conker's Bad Fur Day, that Donkey Kong. It just exudes all of their creativity and style of writing and creating, the way the characters look and move. And I have to wonder, why did they stop being popular? I mean, sure, Donkey Kong 64 wasn't that great, but I mean, if anything, this game proves that if you let people do what they're good at, you'll get some good stuff. And that's exactly what this is. It's good stuff. I don't know what else to say. Well, I do have a couple things to say, and this again harkens back to the whole nostalgia issue, which, to me, I don't want to say it feels like it's trying too hard, because it's honestly not. This game is perfectly fine and suited well into itself. And if you're going to use this game to expose kids to this kind of a generation of gaming, that is 100% a good idea. This would be a perfect exposure game. But for anybody who's already played games like this, it feels really simple. Which, if you're looking for something to just sit down and play, that's great. Not a lot of challenge, just a lot of really nice stuff to look at and play around in. But if I want that, I can always just pop in my Nintendo 64 and play Banjo-Kazooie. I can always pop in Conker's Bad Fur Day if I want. So, I don't know. Again, for littler kids, yeah, use this as their exposure to this kind of a game. They'll probably really enjoy it, and you'll get a kick out of playing with them, because that is one thing this game has that so many don't, and that's a two-player co-op! Couch co-op for this! I don't know how that works. I don't know if, like, you take control of Yooka, the other takes control of Laylee, and you just kind of jump around together. But what's with Marvin the Martian here? Or Squidly the Squid Girl? What am I looking at? Again, it's just rare. They've just called themselves something different. If it means we're going to get more games like this by these people who know how to write good stuff, I'm 100% on board, because eventually we'll get something like Conker's Bad Fur Day again for a more adult-oriented crowd. But as far as this goes, it's harmless. That is both the best and worst thing I can say about it. It's not in your face enough to the point where it tries to shove all of your stuff that you've played over the years out the window and say, no, this is the definitive experience now! It just simply is. And like I say, I wanted to do this whole big thing where I ripped a new one, saying about how it's preying on nostalgia and how you're just remember the glory days when things were better. But this doesn't try and do that. And for that, I'm infinitely grateful. And for new people, kids especially, having this kind of a game would be so good for them. Being able to play something like this, to sit down, because a lot of the people who enjoy Banjo-Kazooie and Conkers and stuff like that, we're grown up and have kids now. We have jobs we have to go do. And this is something we can sit down and say, hey, we used to play games like this. Why don't you come play a game with me? And it's a bonding experience, and honestly, I kind of miss those. I used to play Mario and stuff with my brothers, and there's been a certain distancing of that in local inlaid games now. So, if I have to put up with something that just kind of meh, in order to get to something that's probably going to be really great later on, the sacrifice I'll make. Either way, long story short, Yooka-Laylee, unless you got a kid you want to play with, give it a rental. If you like it, it'll probably be worth catching it on sale, maybe. As far as a full $60 fee goes, though, I don't think I could justify it. It is definitely worth a rental, though, just to make sure you know what you're getting into, and just to have a couple hours of fun with it. So, there you have it. Yooka-Laylee. A solid rental, if ever there was one. We'll see you back here next time, everybody. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and like if you haven't already. Share this video around, because that's how channels grow. And we'll see you back here next time.